show.
Movie disaster music.
Well, that was when I finally realized that there was you know, some kind of glimmer of hope in me that someone might hear something. I did. I released this record, and Paul Rossler and I pretty much. I mean, he actually saved it. I had said it's no good. I can't do it. I had pretty much stopped, and he said, "No, it's really good. Come listen." I go, "No, it's." So he pulled it out of the trash basically, and it's my angst-ridden record. It's, you know, except for Looking for Elvis, which is pretty rockabilly kind of deal. It's not like a trailer park thing, but it is angst-ridden kind of noir. You know, but I got the best reviews I ever got. In fact, the only good reviews I ever got was for that record.
Give me a highlight of that.
Oh, the highlight of that record. Well, Beautiful but Deadly came very close to being the lead song for the James Bond movie at the time. That was really. That was a wonderful moment, one of the almost moments.
I've been listening to this CD in my car over and over again. I really like it. Invasion of the B-Girls.
Yes, that was my labor of love, and that was an homage to all the great songs from bad movies, and that was just something I just put a lot of love into, and did a lot of research on like some of the worst movies on earth, and I did find that, you know, some really horrible songs. I mean, great songs. I mean, you can see that, you know, Black Klansman. What do you call that? Great or horrible? It's kind of both, isn't it?
Well, whatever you touched those songs and you made them golden.
Thank you. Did you read John Waters' intro? His the liner notes?
I didn't, but that is true that John Waters did write the liner notes.
Yes, he did, and that was a real honor. I had recorded Female Trouble. He did try and sue me, and that's how we became friends. That's the running joke between John and I, is that we were friends. You can only be friends if you were in an almost lawsuit with somebody. You know, I love that record, and that was, you know, just, to me, that's just the ultimate, like, record I could do. I have Volume 2 pretty much ready to go, if I can like twist Paul's arm to go back in with me, because, you know, you have to have a love for really demented movies.
In 2005, Jackass 2 comes out.
Yeah.
And your song, Johnny, Are You Queer?
Yes.
Now, how did that change your life at that point?
Well, other than, you know, performing at his birthday party and, you know, him almost falling off a balcony yelling, "I love you, Josie," which was thrilling because I love him. But, you know.
Him as in?
Johnny Knoxville.
Okay.
Huge crush. But anyway, it really didn't change anything, except all of a sudden all my fans on MySpace, when MySpace was actually, you know, something, you know.
Before the inmates took over the asylum.
Yeah, my dead space, you know. But it was all my, like, there were 15-year-old boys, and that was really cute. And they didn't know that song had, you know, had been around for a while. And then I saw it on Jon Stewart. When Johnny Knoxville was on, they played that as his theme song when he walked. So that was all thrilling.
Oh,
you know,
okay.
that was like, oh, okay, yeah, that song still lives, and it was cute. And that was the same year John Waters put it on his A Date with John Waters record. So that was fun. And it was a lot of stuff going on at that point. I was full blown in career mode, and I was like back, and back with an Uzi, just trying to come back into the, you know, it's like, okay, I didn't finish the race. I'm a horse, and I didn't finish my race, so I was back full on.
So what makes your new CD, Pussycat Babylon, unique?
Besides that, I do a complete homage song to Bruce Lee called All I Can See Is the Face of Bruce Lee, because I actually worship the man. I truly do. But you know, it's unique for me in that it's the first like real dancey record I've done. It's the first record I did that wasn't just kind of like hiding behind a puppet, you know, behind the stage and not wanting anyone to see me. I mean, I'm actually out there, and it's very, even the ballads are, you can, you know, what I call it DWS, Dancing While Sad, you know, which Roxy Music did so well. All their ballads were like, you're like, well, I'm sad and I'm dancing. Like,
Dance away the heartache.
Yeah, so I had that. It's like they all have to be dancey. And so that was, you know, that was fun to do. And Paul and I were just in there like little, you know, like little kids, just creating these building blocks of sound. It was lovely. It was almost a year in there putting this stuff together, and it was a tremendously wonderful experience.
What inspired the song New Hong Kong?
See, the New Hong Kong it's actually it's saying goodbye to someone you love. It was absolutely the last song I wrote for the record. It was absolutely heartbroken and devastated and just trying to move on. And you remember those ads that were on late at night about the Singapore girl, you're a great way to fly, and they were all like in slow motion, and they're like, like advertising the Far East, and that was the feeling, like where you want to go to another place, you want to start over, you want to leave all of it behind, and that was actually, it's interesting you mentioned that song. That's the one that still gets to me when I listen to it. I mean, all of them, like, you get tired of your own music and whatnot, but that's the one that's still like, oh, well, I'll always kind of love that person,
Calling All Girls. What inspired that song?
That song was basically written about my 12-year-old niece who was becoming so superficial, and all she talked about was Paris Hilton, and ended up in a gang. I mean, it occurred because I felt like there was no solid role models for young girls. It was so empty. It was either like this hardcore, sexting, their private parts, to the world, or the most superficial, aspect of being in the world. And it was really my message to her. And even though it's done with humor, and there's a lot of like really funny lines in there, but actually it's very heartfelt. I was just trying to, communicate something to these girls. It's just like, come on, it's just more to life. That was, I hide my ideas and my ideals behind humor, and it's how I do it.
What's next for Josie Cotton?
I plan to kill more men in videos. I plan to do a lot of man killing. I think that's always going to be a theme in all my videos.
One of the things about Invasion of the Bee Girls, it
Yes.
sounds so authentic.
Yes. Well, there is not one synthesizer. It's all real instruments. Everything was real. And a lot of those movies were from that era, and we tried so hard to be authentic to the era, which was all movies from the 60s and 70s. And I tried very hard to recreate that. And it's fun to come to a party and everyone's like, kind of doing all these dances from that era. I think it's a time capsule, and I think that record will live on, in of all the records I do. That's one of my favorite ones. Yeah, well, Invasion of the Bee Girls was actually, I was praying there was a theme song for that. It was actually a movie, BEE Girls, who were actually foxy women scientists who were actually bees, who killed men during sex for their blood. It was a perfect, plot line in my world. It was perfect, but there was no theme song, so I was sad. But I named the record after it anyway.
Well, Josie Cotton, it's been great having you on the Blairing Out with Eric Blair show.
Thank you, Eric.
You rock.
Thank you, Eric.
Blairing Out with Eric Blair show with Josie Cotton, signing off.
The Blairing Out Show.